So, welcome to the workshop. And tonight we have this presentation that is called What If? We're going to be looking for scenarios, and you guys will have to guess how the ledger will behave in those scenarios. So, are you ready to challenge what you know?
It's funny.
Scenario 1. A council committee member perform an action that the community perceives as unconstitutional. In response, the community submit an update governance action to remove the CC member. Two epochs later, the governance action is ratified and subsequently enacted. At the time of the proposal submission, there are 7 active CC members, and the committee mean size protocol parameters is set to 7. So as you can see, we have here at epoch n, the community submit the update committee governance action. Then there is an epoch passing by. And at epoch n plus 3, the governance action is ratified through the reps and SPO voting. But I honestly believe it is an injustice, but that's not that is not the topic of this scenario. And at epoch n plus 4, the governance action is enacted, removing the member from his or her or their position. Let's move on. Question. Does the Constitutional Committee at epoch n plus 4 falls into a no confidence state?
This is assuming that there's been no replacement. We've just removed one member of the Constitutional Committee
Yes.
without replacing them.
We do not replace them all. We only remove the bad CC member. So by only removing one, we fall under the committee mean size protocol parameter. Does the
So we would, yes,
constitutional?
we would fall into a no confidence state.
You think it would be yes? How about you, Bob? Did you
I
listen?
think so.
Let me see. I stepped away for a second. Does the Constitutional Committee at epoch n plus 4 fall into the no confidence state?
Do you want me to read
Shit,
the
I don't know.
question again?
Yes.
Yes. So in this scenario, we have a CC member that is seen that has been perceived as doing something unconstitutional. So in response, the community is attempting to remove this CC member through an update committee governance action. And by removing this CC member, the actual numbers of CC member falls under the committee mean size protocol parameter. So the question is, does that make the rest or the actual constitutional committee fall into a no confidence state?
No.
No, it does not. Why not?
Because with the members in the Constitutional Committee should have enough votes negating one of the committee members to fulfill a confidence vote. Meaning one doesn't hurt it to be able to do that.
Right. And of course, Van, you said yes. I think so. Okay. So the answer is no. So Bob was right.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
Nice.
Congratulations. Not that I was expecting a poor lowly commoner to guess the answer. No, the Constitutional Committee does not fall into a no confidence state. Because when a governance action is enacted at epoch n plus 4, only one member is removed, not the entire Constitutional Committee. Meaning that when the number of active committee members fall below committee mean size protocol parameter, the system enters into a mode in which it is as though all committee members have cast a no vote. This does not constitute a no confidence state because the DREP voting threshold for update committee governance action remain at 67%, whereas it would be 60% during a no confidence state. So the only way to make them fall into a no confidence state would be to ratify a motion of no confidence, not an update committee.
So Mike, when the committee total drops below the minimum size.
How dare you? How dare you call me Mike? You call me Lord, you call me Sir. You do not call me Mike, you lowly commoner peasant. How dare you?
Michael. When we have 6 of 7, they're all automatically casting a no vote.
The system act as if they were automatic no. Yes.
So
they don't cast it on chain. They will just be perceived as passive no for everything.
So no governance action could advance until that minimum size was met because it would all receive an automatic no.
Yes, all governance action except update committee.
But the update committee threshold is going to stay. That's like the big difference. Well,
Yes.
not the big difference, but it's a substantial difference. Is the no confidence state is like saying, hey, we're tossing everything out and we're starting fresh. Whereas this example is like, hey, there was one isolated member who had to be removed quickly. But technically, you would have to replace that member or change the minimum size before anything could really start progressing.
No, you cannot change that protocol parameter because it is voted by the CC.
Oh.
Yes.
So you would have to get a new member before you could.
Exactly.
Okay.
The only thing you would be able to do is to elect a new constitutional committee member through the update committee governance action. So the difference is that under a no confidence state, it is easier to elect CC member.
Very interesting. Okay. That was a great one. Yeah, that totally threw me off.
Okay, for the next
Very
one.
Interesting.
It says scenario 3, but actually it is scenario 2. I'm going to have to fix that. So are you listening, Mr. Bob?
Yes.
Excellent. That is perfect. A governance action is submitted on chain to lower the governance action deposit, which is presently 100,000. So the name of the protocol parameter is gov action deposit. The DREP voting threshold has already been met. It has already been met, meaning that the action has sufficient DREP support. I'm not going to say anything else about the SPO vote. I'll just leave it like that. There are 10 constitutional committee members total, and the CC threshold is 50%. The voting breakdown is 5 CC members voted yes, 3 CC members voted no, and 2 CC members have not voted. This is a very tricky one. So the question is, will this governance action be ratified? Let me go back so you can read the question. Let me emphasize the fact that it is the gov action deposit that we are talking about. So you have to consider that it might be votable by stake pool operators as well. Maybe.
So, I mean, the answer here would have to be it meets the constitutional committee threshold, but it's a separate question about the stake pool operator threshold that would need to be met.
But also,
But
does it have
do
to...
stake pool operators vote on the governance action deposit? I'm not sure. I'm
Ooh,
forgetting what the.
that is an excellent question, sir. Would you like to go
Do
see
they
it?
not?
Would you like to go see it? We can go see it.
I would love to.
Okay, let's do it. Yes. Hold on a second. Let's go see.
That was pretty cool how the hand was moving on that slide as you pulled it up. The guy was like writing with his quill. It was a nice touch.
Let's go take a look at the SIP 1694. And there it is. So if we look at the SIP 1694 and I just scroll down like this, if we look at the SIP 1694 and I just scroll down, randomly, not because I know exactly where it is, we can see here.
So it is, yeah, it is voted on by the.
We can see here all the security relevant protocol parameters that are voted by SPOs. And amongst them, you will see the governance action deposit. That is a good hint to consider. So
the answer would have to be, I mean, it has to be yes or no, because we don't know what the vote, for SPOs, what their voting has been.
that is true. We don't have that. So I would assume that it's probably no. Let's say the SPO vote is there, but it's also under the
okay.
threshold.
I got to go with no then. Yeah, no.
Okay. You have also to consider, would the CC threshold, does it need to be met or does it need to be crossed?
Crossed.
No, I think I'm going to go with this voting breakdown: 5 yes, 3 no, 2 not voted. I think that would meet it meets the threshold. It doesn't cross the threshold.
Exactly. So the 2 CC members that haven't voted
Their
are
no's.
passive no's. Exactly.
Yeah. And is that right? You just need to meet the threshold, not
Yes,
go,
that is
above
correct.
it.
That is correct. But since we don't have the SPO votes, the answer is no. Although the governance action would normally be ratified since 50% threshold. You like me.
That guy's that's funny.
Yeah, he's a smart one. Look at that. He knew it.
That's an SPO right there.
Yes. So although the governance action would normally be ratified, since the 50% threshold only need to be met, not necessarily crossed, meaning that in a similar scenario, 5 yes vote would have been enough. This particular case is different. The proposer is attempting to change a security relevant protocol parameter, which also requires the SPO threshold to be met. This additional requirement was intentionally not mentioned to see if someone would catch the trap. And you did. Congratulations.
You gave us a pretty substantial hint, but yeah.
I will talk to my fellow bourgeoisie people and see if we can find a way to upgrade your lowly rank.
You do me a great honor by even mentioning such a concept.
Scenario 4. This one is a very, very tricky one, so I need your attention.
Don't give us any hints.
Okay. A governance action to withdraw funds from the treasury is currently active on chain. prior to the DREP threshold being met, prior to the DREP threshold being met, the then seated Constitutional Committee unanimously voted yes on the proposal. Okay. Subsequently, a separate update committee governance action was submitted, ratified, and successfully enacted, resulting in the complete replacement of the existing Constitutional Committee with a new set of members. Since the original committee cast a unanimous yes vote prior to their replacement, their vote remained recorded. The DREPs later reached their threshold, but the newly elected committee has not yet voted, although they have authorized their hot credential. So in the timeline, you see the Treasury withdrawal proposed here. We have the original CC vote yes, so the existing Constitutional Committee voted on it. Here we have the update committee governance action to replace them, and here they have been replaced by a new committee. And after that, we reach the threshold on the Treasury withdrawal governance action on the DREP side. But the former CC vote is still cast on chain. Question: will the Treasury withdrawal be ratified?
Wow. Can we go back to the timeline view?
Yes.
Just for like some context here. So hypothetically, Treasury withdrawal is proposed. The Constitutional Committee. So they do an update committee action, but the update committee action replaces every single member of the previous CC.
Yes.
That is able to be submitted, voted on, ratified, and put on chain while the original Treasury withdrawal is still active for voting.
Yes. They can be done in parallel. Both are active on chain, but the update committee is ratified first. And they are effectively enacted and elected, and there is also a ratification delay after the election. It works in the timeline. But they already voted. The former CC members already voted yes on it. The former one.
Oh man, that's really interesting, because if it was a no confidence state, obviously it would.
Nope. It is a normal state, and
it's a normal state.
Yes, we have enough CC members for their vote to be considered, but it is a brand new one.
Yes. I think yes.
I think yes too.
Yeah.
So the former CC members who voted yes on it would still have the power to ratify the Treasury withdrawal.
I guess that's the question, actually. The question, and I'm not sure about this, but does it nullify a previous committee's yes votes on active governance actions, assuming a new one is updated? But I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't see why it would. If the CC votes legitimately, and
when you vote,
when
you vote on a governance action and you do the query of the governance state, next to your vote, what do you see? What is your vote on the governance action? How does it look? What does it show? It shows the X of what? It shows the hash of your
transaction.
It shows the hash of your credential, right?
As a CC member.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But if you replace the CC with a new one, will it generate the same hash?
I guess it wouldn't, right?
Exactly.
So it would nullify. So
would it be considered still? Would the ledger interpret this as
It would no longer fit, I guess. It would, the hash wouldn't match what was needed to satisfy
So you have
a
to start
cons-
all over again with the new CC.
the answer is no, it would not be ratified. Look how happy my
Wow.
colleague is.
That's a really interesting question, man.
With the new committee now elected, the previous vote, though still recorded on chain, are no longer valid and will not trigger the ratification of the Treasury Withdrawal Governance
Wow.
Action. So the new committee would have to vote yes on it, meaning that now we have a new
Wow.
committee, right? We have a new committee that has been enacted. This means that we have an epoch ratification delay as we speak on mainnet. Also meaning that if, for example, Utah would like his Constitution version 2 to be considered constitutional, the new committee would have to vote on it as well, as soon as they are available to vote.
How about this though, Mike? What if the DREPs had met, let's say, an update CC proposal had been submitted and was being voted on, and as that, let's say in the first 5 days that goes live, the DREPs had met the threshold to pass the Treasury withdrawal. So there is a new update committee proposed, but it hasn't met the thresholds and it hasn't been enacted. In that scenario, at the end of that epoch, it could be.
Then the former CC would have
It would
still the
satisfy.
power. Yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I had never even thought about that.
There's more questions.
Very, very interesting.
Other question. If the new committee vote on if the new committee vote on it one epoch later, will the Treasury withdrawal be ratified? If the new committee vote yes on it.
Assuming it's before it expires, right? I mean,
yes.
Then yes, yeah.
Then yes, it is yes. Congratulations. One more question. If the former committee were simply having their term extended, so if the update committee was made in order only to extend their term, would the Treasury withdrawal action still be ratified? So you keep the same committee, but you only extend their term length.
Does that affect the hash or?
The answer is no. It doesn't affect the hash. So it would be the same hash, the same keys. You just extend their term length.
So it'd be yes then, right?
Yes.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
And they would probably extend it specifically for this reason. And a few others, maybe.
Well, they could technically use new credential if they wanted to. But in this scenario, they would keep the same credential. If they are the same credential, it means that it derives to the same hash when they vote on chain, so that doesn't change. And when the ledger does its calculation, it will consider the same credentials and it will work.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible.
That was the end of the presentation.
So does that mean depending? It was excellent presentation. Does that mean like when constitutional committees are up for votes for voting in replacement, that people should consider extensions depending on what possible ratifications could be going on?
No, I would say no. Honestly, this is up to the people to decide. Like the best example we have right now on mainnet, we have been ratified and subsequently enacted very soon. And the new committee is going to have to vote on a governance action that's already active from Utah, the Constitution version 2. And I would strongly suggest that the new committee vote on it. But we at the Cardano Atlantic Council, we won't have to because our vote for that has already been cast and we use the same credential. So we don't have to recast our vote. But the new committee will have to consider voting on it very soon. That includes all the ones
Incredible.
that were not there before. The ACE team, the Tingard, Sir Phil, and Sir 14 as well, Matthias.
Truly incredible.
Really well thought out.
Superb.
Okay. I'm back.
Oh, hey, it's Mike. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
His name is not Mike, you commoner.
I felt bad when I was
It's
talking to him like
nice to
that.
have Mike back. That French guy was
He's
pretty arrogant.
he's an asshole. He's the complete
Are you
opposite of what
speaking,
I
Mike?
like.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I said he's an asshole. He's the complete opposite of what I like.
You really embodied the character.
I embodied everything that I hate in this world into one character. Really, I'm serious. Pretentious people, people with ego that treats people like they're lowly, or I hate that so much. So I had to play that character. Anyway, yeah. So it's a very short presentation, but I thought it was just a funny one to do.
Yeah, those are really interesting questions, Mike. I mean, I don't know if you're planning on doing a video of that slideshow or something, but I think that would be a really interesting thing to post on YouTube and whatever, any video thing of just like maybe you just going through it, give the viewer a chance to kind of answer among themselves, and then be like, okay, have you decided? Okay, well, it's like
like
you
a
could just keep it
poll.
really simple. Yeah,
Yes.
just kind of like.
Oh, like a poll. That's a good
But
idea. I would
there's a
do
bunch of stuff you
snippets.
could do with it. Yeah,
Yes, and then
yeah,
the
break it
answer
up
would
into
be my answer.
TikToks and YouTubes.
Oh, yes, that's a great idea. I could do just small snippets and people would vote on it and then I give the answer.
And a lot of people would just be like, damn, I have no idea. That was my initial reaction to most of these. I was just like, holy shit, I hadn't even thought about that. So for most people, it might be a good like mental exercise just to realize there's so many different
Yeah.
layers and,
There's a lot of
angles
questions.
to it.
There's a lot of questions like that we can bring. A lot of questions. You could ask things like if we change the protocol parameter for the maximum transaction size and we make it higher in size than the maximum block size. Question, would it break the blockchain?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there's also the fact that if you replace the former committee and you re-elect them only by changing their term length, when they get re-elected, will they have to reauthorize again their hot credential? That's another question.
Mm-hmm.
So will the ledger just reset and use the same credential, but you would have to reauthorize your hot credentials? We don't know that yet. I will know by the end of the epoch. I never tried to overlap a control committee with the same credentials.
Oh,
That would
really?
be that would be a first. So we're getting ready. So if we have to reauthorize the same credentials, we will be ready to do it. But hopefully we won't have to. We'll see. But yeah.
Can I show you something real quick, Mike?
Yes.
It's just a little thing I'm working on here. It's called the preview nugget.
Let's see.
Basically, just working with your Sancho nugget and making it so somebody can install the dependencies.
Okay, so you're compiling the node itself. That's what you do?
Yeah, just building it with Cabal, and I'm just taking pieces of the Cardano developers guide and pieces of the Sancho Nugget guide, and I'm going to make
Yeah,
it all copy pastable, kind of like how you did. This is just my notes for now, what it could be. I mean, it's mostly the same as what you did, and just kind of mixing and matching different pieces to
yeah,
kind of give people like the one you could be on this page and just, you know.
right.
And this is just for a relay, but I thought it'd be cool. Maybe you could have it on your GitHub too or something, since it's mostly inspired by your SanchoNet
I
tutorial.
Yeah, I could change the title for something else like building a node tutorial or an easy one instead of just CentralNet tutorial. And instead of having the network ID set to 4, I could put a variable in there that people would set whether they want to use their node on
Oh,
preview, pre-prod,
mm-hmm.
or the mainnet even if
Yeah,
they
it could
want.
be one guide, and there could just be notes. Hey, at this stage, depending on what network you want to use, do this, right? And then everywhere else where it's the
Yeah.
same, it could just be
Oh,
a step by step.
just a variable. I would just use a variable. So you set a variable calling you call it network, and you set the value to change me, and next to it you explain within your tutorial, change that to 1 if you want to be on pre-prod, change that to 2 if no, sorry, change that to, yeah, 1 is pre-prod, 2 is preview, and 4 is CentralNet. And if you want to go on mainnet, you just type mainnet, and then it would use the value of that variable everywhere it's needed along your tutorial. So they will certainly build on mainnet. Um, that could be done. I mean, sky's the limit at this point. You can build it the way you like, or if you wanted to, you could just put all that into a single script that would do it all for them. Run the script. But again,
Well,
it's
that could be a good peanut butter jelly though, Mike. Is like have a repository where you have the step by step and a walkthrough for people, and then also be like, hey, over here we have a script that could do this too if you want to try that. And but maybe somebody wants to use the script, but they want to really see
yeah,
a step by step, thing of what's happening.
the only thing I dislike about scripts is even though they could be very reliable and useful, you need trust before you run that. So I could tell people to run a specific script. If they don't trust me, they won't do it, right? But if they understand every single command that you have to run in order to build a node and they are not script, then they understand what's behind the script in a way. Then they can be confident to run the script later after. So
Yeah, it's true.
it's great to have both. Like you have your script ready on your repo, but you also have the breaking down of your script.
Right,
And you
exactly.
explain each step that you are building right now. If you include them into a script, you can simply tell them at the end of it or at the beginning, here we have this script, which just do what's clearly explained in this tutorial. And lazy people could just run the script.
That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm just gonna try to finish up this tutorial, and then I'm gonna make it copy pastable, and I'll just send it to you so you can check it out. Maybe it'll.
Yeah,
I mean, again, it's like probably 75% just the Sancho tutorial, but um, again, just the idea of like someone being like, hey, you either have a machine or you have a virtual instance, but if you want, a page where you can just spin up a node, it's all right there. Um, yeah,
yeah,
inspired
absolutely.
by inspired by the Sancho Nugget concept.
Sure.
Yeah.
Am I sharing my screen right now?
I'm trying to make a. Oh yeah, you are. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this beauty. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous creation. Unreal.
Would you want
Needs
me
to
to
be in a
break it?
museum.
Yeah, let's dive in, man.
If you want to dive in, we obviously won't do it tonight, but I would love to do that. Uh, if we can gather some more people, we could do that on Sanchonet. I would love that. So let's go down. Start here, and then we go there. Yeah. So maybe just to start, I could define each of those three roles, right? So if you go on top, we have here the crown is the membership role, the handshake is the delegation role, and the big V there is the voting role. I made a shield for the head of security, and the orchestrator role is an image of an orchestrator, as you can see. And in each command's scroll, it shows the role that is involved. So now, generate the keys from mnemonic. You have to do that if you are either a membership delegation, or a voting role. So, my dear friend, pray attend with care for what follow. For what follows is not for vulgar or the uninitiated. You shall first appoint but two essential variables, a name, here, and a role. With this declaration duly made, you may proceed to generate your Cardano keys. Which, once refined into proper Shelley keys, shall empower to act with the poise and legitimacy befitting the Constitutional Committee members. A station far above the wretched common throng, whose feeble minds seldom rise beyond the most trivial curiosity. So you have to set a name and a role, and this will be the variable used for the keys here. So first you generate the mnemonic, and then you derive it into your extended key, which is a BIP32. You grab the CBOR X part that represents the secret key, and then you convert it into a normal Shelley key that you will use for the credential manager tool. With all due grandeur, Sir Mike Hornan, protector of the threefold order. So these commands are the ones you have to do for each roles. They are the same, they never change, and whatever the role you fulfill, could be one, could be more than one, you do all these commands. And it will give the proper name to your keys. Because if you're doing the membership roles, you will set this variable as membership. And it will give the membership role name to your key. So you will have van membership dot skey at the end. And if you're doing delegators, then you'll have delegator or voting at the end, depending on the set of keys you're preparing. So let's follow the feathers. Now the next one is what? These are my dotted lines. Look at that.
I've just never heard that before. Follow the feathers.
Follow the
It's got a
feathers.
nice ring to it.
So to make a certificate request, you can do it either if you're a membership, a delegation, or a voting role. That's the roles that's involved in those commands. So, my dear friend, I am well aware that at first glance this elaborate tapestry of code may strike you as excessive, even bordering on the extravagant. Yet I assure you, such intricacy is not born of vanity but of necessity. Only through this careful construction may one derive the proper keys in form that OpenSSL itself can recognize, thereby allowing the esteemed certificate signing request to be fashioned. It is, after all, the indispensable step by which you may present yourself with due legitimacy as one of the three most distinguished roles. Thus prepared, I now command you to your eyes the very code that shall confer such distinction. So,
That's
so,
good.
so as you can see, it takes the content of your signature, of your signing key, of your cardinal keys, and it converts them into a key that is the same. It's equivalent um, OpenSSL keys, which are still ED25519 keys that you can use with the OpenSSL tooling. In order to then, as you can see here, create your certificate signing request that you will send to the head of security. So as soon as you run this command here, it's going to prompt you for your name, your location, the city you live in, the name of your organizations, information about yourself, your email, so that you can ask for a certificate from the certificate authority that is held by the head of security. Ever faithfully, Sir McKernan, custodian of certainty. Custodian of certainty. Okay, so now the next step is going straight to the head of security. So the next step is certificate signing request approval by the head of security. And as you can see, if I zoom out, the people involved in this command is the membership role, the delegation role, the voting role, and the head of security. So the reason why the three user roles are involved is because you have to provide your certificate signing request to the head of security in order for him to sign them and send you back the certificate that has been signed by himself. So my esteemed head of security, I write to you with the utmost respect and full confidence in your discernment. It is my humble request that you lend your distinguished signature to the certificate signing request, thereby bestowing the authority and legitimacy only you can provide. To ensure it is executed correctly, I am providing you with the code to generate your certificate authority keys and self-signed certificate, a step of utmost importance which I trust you will not omit before signing the request. With these in your possession, you shall be fully equipped to act as a certificate authority, maintaining the proper hierarchy of X509 certificates, and ensuring that all credentials identities are issued with the utmost integrity and precision as befit your exalted station. So as you can see now, we have the commands to create the certificate authority keys from the Cardano keys that you can also use if you wanted to sign your rationale um, of your consortium. You could if you wanted to. And here
Mhm.
is the command to convert those Cardano keys into its equivalent OpenSSL keys. Then we get to the command to create the self-signed certificate. And when this is done, we have the command to sign the certificate signing request that you will get from the people of the three main user roles. So you
Mm.
can sign those certificate and then send them back the signed certificate as the head of security. By my noble hand, Sir Mike Ornan, sole arbiter and supreme custodian of the Central Network.
That's good.
So if we get to the next step, after that, we have to mint the cold credential NFT. And the one that's going to do that doesn't have to be part of the organization. It's the orchestrator. So you can see here that it only involves the orchestrator. Okay. He can mint the cold NFT using the consortium's certificate that has been sent to him by the head of security. So since he's not directly involved into the consortium, technically he doesn't have to. So Michael Nunn treats him very, very differently from the others. So to the orchestrator, though your station is lowly and your authority non-existent, you are nonetheless summoned to perform a task of consequence. You shall construct the transaction by which the cold credential NFT is to be minted, employing with due care each certificate entrusted to you. Yet, lest I entertain the faintest doubt of your capacity, I shall provide you with the necessary code myself. For it would be folly to presume that a commoner could be trusted to execute such matter unaided. Attend to this charge with precision and know well that your word extends no further than your obedience. so, so here you have the commands from the orchestrator CLI that I will normally explain when we do it for real, how to install it. And once this is done, only the orchestrator has to use it, really, nobody else. And he will include the seed input, which is the UTXO that you will spend, and also the certificates from the people that are part of the consortiums to create the cold NFT. And then the commands that comes after is the transaction build command to create the transaction to submit to mint the NFT on chain. So transaction build, and then you sign it. He has to sign it because he covers the fee, and then he submit it without anybody else's help. By decree of my hand, Sir Michael Nunn, keeper of the immutable order. And when this is done, it's not too boring, I hope.
No,
When
no,
this
no.
is done, you now have the credential hash that you need. What do you have something to say, Evan?
It's just a complex topic, you know what I mean? It's you did a great job breaking it down. It's just, I mean, to the average person, it's just so.
Oh yeah, it is tough. It is tough for sure.
But you did a great job. I mean, I don't think you could have done a better job breaking it down. It's
This
just,
is
it's still
this is the
very
kind right.
complex.
This is the kind of documentation that you obviously need some human help to understand, right? But I just wanted basically to build something that I could use to teach in an easy way and as a nice little step by
That's
step
perfect.
that
I
everyone
mean,
could
this is
understand.
perfect for that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So later, I'm hoping that we will just gather some people, and it could be 3 persons or 4, but we need a bare minimum. At least 5 persons. Each one would fulfill one role, and then we could do it uh, real time on CentralNet. I would like to do that because the first step we did until we get to this one can be done the same day if we wanted to. And now the next step is we use the credential that we created, the credential hash of the script we created from the NFT we minted to propose an update committee governance action to get elected by the SPOs and the DREPs, right? So again, this is a task for the orchestrator. The orchestrator builds a transaction. He includes the script hash of the NFT just minted to the transaction in order for to eventually hoping that the DREPs and the SPOs would elect them. So here we have the letter from Sir Mike to the orchestrator of Petit Labor. I have discerned upon the chain that the cold credential NFT now exists, and thus your next duty becomes unavoidable. You are to prepare an update committee governance section with all haste. Take care not to bungle the matter. You shall include the previous governance section ID of the same type, and you shall set a term length that does not exceed the sacred boundary of committee max term length protocol parameter value. Since my trust is not something so lightly bestowed upon commoners, I shall provide you with the proper code to ensure that even you may complete so delicate task without disgracing yourself. Use it precisely as given. Attend to this at once and see that your fellow peasants rally their votes in favor, lest the dignity of our credential be delayed in their ascension to the rank of constitutional committee members.
I love how like dismissive he is of the orchestrator.
But it evolves over time. So as we move forward, he starts to slowly respect the orchestrator, which is kind of my little nice touch at the end. You'll see, he's gonna have some respect at the end. Uh, so yeah, here we have you already know it, right? So it's the update committee governance section, crafting, and then we have to include it into a transaction build, sign it, and then submit it. May all who behold this action recognize the wisdom and foresight of my guidance. Lord Mycornon, sovereign architect of governance.
The wisdom and foresight of my guidance.
This is crazy. I know.
That's good.
I hate
good.
myself for writing this. I'm like, my God, this is he's pretty. He's good. I don't know what to say.
It's like shadow. It's shadow horning.
Yeah, it's like my nemesis. I don't know what else to say. He's evil.
They tried to clone you, but something went terribly wrong.
So now we're at the minting of the hot NFT. So yeah, the nice thing about it is that you can always spot them, right? So you see some flowers there. So right, meaning that if you're looking for it from the zoomed out view, you can always kind of find it. Oh, how do I mint the hot NFT already? Oh, okay, yeah, the scroll and fire. So the minting of the NFT, again, it still only involves the orchestrator, right? So let's see if he's starting to have some respect to the industrious orchestrator. I must extend my astonishment and rare word of praise to your recent feat. That you, of all those lowly functionaries, have managed to convince enough of your kind to vote in favor is, I confess, most impressive. One might have expected such persuasion to require far more time, yet you have proven unexpectedly efficient. Now, with the path cleared by your industrious effort, it falls to us to mint the hot credential NFT, a task which, under less competent stewardship, might have been delayed indefinitely. Yet your timely execution has allowed us to proceed without hindrance. To accomplish this, you shall gather the certificate from all those designated to fulfill the voting role, ensuring their full participation in the process. Truly, it is a spectacle worthy of note. To let it be remembered, your diligence does not elevate your station, only spares you the ignominy of failure. So slowly but surely, starting to um, consider the orchestrator as somebody equal, I would say. Again, the minting of the hot NFT. Now you have to run.
Yeah, vital.
You have to run the orchestrator CLI again to create the policy ID and the token name and stuff like that. Then you go through a transaction build to mint the NFT. Then you have the commands for the transaction sign to sign it, and then you submit it.
So yeah, that would be a good job, huh, Mike? Becoming a professional orchestrator.
That is the hardest job that that the credential tool requires you to have. So if somebody can, well, the advantage, the pros of this is that you can orchestrate anybody's transaction, so as a service. The cons is that it's very hard to learn, right? So even though I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can, it still requires some steps that it's kind of complicated, right? You
I
need to
want to be
understand.
orchestrator.
You want to be an orchestrator? Well,
Yes,
you can. You can. Now we're at the
I can, right?
authorization. Anybody
You
can.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody can. Sure, I can show you that. Um, so the authorization of the hot credential, it involves the orchestrator, but also the delegation role. Because the orchestrator builds the transaction with the authorization certificate, but you need to sign it with your cold credential keys, which are the delegation role. So there's some of the stuff that is mentioned. What time is it? Oh, it's already 9. Oh, sorry. Do you guys want to carry on, or we could stop there?
I actually do have to run. I didn't realize what
Yeah,
time it was
no, it's
either.
fine. It's 9 o'clock. It's technically finished. We can stop here, or if you want to, and if we have enough people, we could do it from your instance and mine, or
Oh,
it's up to you.
that'd be cool.
All right, then.
Let's pick up. We could pick up from here again with Van, and so that you can finish your video.
Oh, well, no, the video is a workshop, so it doesn't matter if I stop it there. We could just meet again on Thursday and then keep going. Or if we have enough people, we could just start over and do it for real as well. It's up to us. I always,
Unfortunately, I'll be busy on Thursday evening
oh, shoot.
this week, which sucks, I know, but yeah, sorry about
It's
that.
totally fine. Also, you need to, well, I suggest you reach out to Johnny Kelly because we're going to be doing this disaster recovery, yeah, soon. Not soon, but kind of, yeah, soon.
Okay,
And we will need you.
I'll shoot him a message.
I'll share with you later the video we did in case you don't remember how to truncate the chain. That's what we need to do, and we will probably have to run the node with a new topology. And you will have to close every single one of your ports to the public and restrain them to only specific IPs. I can show you that later. Because if somebody that has a longer chain than yours
Mm.
connect to your node, then your node might build its chain using their
Mhm.
database, and we don't want that. We want to isolate
Mhm.
our blockchain as soon as we truncate it. So we'll see.
Centralization is good.
Yeah, centralized catastrophic recovery, disaster recovery,
Centralization.
centralization. It could be that.
Okay, I gotta run, guys. Have a good one, though. Thank you,
All
Mike.
right.
That was good.
Thanks for coming, guys. I
See you,
appreciate it.
Van.
Bye.
Bye, Mike. Thanks for teaching me.